So, something serious just happened just now. I literally just had a phone conversation. Literally, a phone conversation with someone in the music business. And to be honest, like, I'm still shook right now. Like, I just cannot believe what I just did. Like, just a simple phone call could just, you could just get all the answers you want. So, okay, so this is what happened. So, I've always been a fan of, Columbia Records. I heard that they were a really, really good label, and I heard that they were a serious record label. And that was one label that I would consider getting signed to if I ever made it in the music business. Anyone that knows me personally knows that, I'm an artist, I sing and I write music. So I just Googled it. I Googled Sony Music Entertainment because I think that is the parent organization over the other record labels that's underneath them. So I called that number. So then a man picked up the phone after three rings and he says, "Yes, this is such and such with such and such." I don't want to say his name. I want to keep everything confidential. He said, "This is such and such with such and such." He said, "How may I help you?" And immediately, like when he said that, I froze. Literally, I froze and my heart starts beating fast. And in my mind, I'm telling myself, I said, "Boy, say something, say something," So I finally just forced it and pushed it out. And I said, "Yes, my name is Philip Wood, and I was wondering who I could talk to get my music heard by one of you guys' record labels. Is there any way that that I could do that?" And well, actually, no. Before I asked him that question, the first question I asked, I said, "Yes, is this Sony Music?" And then he paused for a minute and he says, "Yes." And I'm like, okay, this conversation's not gonna go good. So then I asked him that question about my music. And then after that, he says, "Well, do you have a manager?" I said, "No, sir." And he says, "Do you have a representative, a lawyer?" I said, "No, sir." And then he says, "Okay, well, before you can get someone to hear your music, you first have to get those two things taken care of first. And then once you get those taken care of, then they're going to call back on your behalf. I repeat, they're going to call back on your behalf." And he just said it so sternly, and and it just sounded like I could tell by the sound of his voice and by the way he talked, like I could tell that this wasn't the first phone call that he's gotten. Like I'm sure they've gotten lots of phone calls from people. So I could tell by the sternness and the strictness in his voice that, okay, we have someone else calling. I kind of got that. So then after he gave me the information, I said, "Okay." And then he says, "Is there anything else I could do for you?" And I said, "No, sir." I said, "Thank you." And then the conversation was over after that. It lasts only like 60 seconds. Like my heart was literally bursting out of my chest because like it was beating so fast because like I just can't believe I literally talked to somebody that was within the realms of the music business. Like to me that's huge. It may not be a big deal to other people, but to me that's a big deal because I've always wanted to be in the music business. I told my mom about it, and then my mom she was like, "Well, I can be your manager, because I graduated from college, and I have the credentials, for that." And I said, "Okay," and I'm like, "Okay, but what about the other stuff?" And then she says, "Well, we'll get all the rest of that taken care of." And I'm just like, oh my God, like it's just, you know, like I'm sure I'm not the only person that just wants to just walk up in the building and just bust out, sing, throwing a bunch of songs out there and just get signed to a label. But I know it's not that easy. It goes in steps, and I know I'm not the only person that feels that way. I'm sure I'm not the only person that just wants to just run up to a music producer and be like, "Hey, Hear me sing real quick. Hear me do this. Hear me do that. You know, if you like what you hear, can you please sign me? Can you please? You know, like I know I'm not the only person that feels that way. You know, but in the back of my mind, I know it's not that easy. You know, I know it's not that easy, but oh my god, you know. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because I just couldn't believe I had that conversation with that person. You know, it's just it's crazy, but yeah, it's crazy.